Ooh, welcome back to Life Not Supported. So it has become apparent that not everything in this game is, as clear as it should be. Yeah, there's kind of like a little bit of unknowns. So first of all, on the F3 menu, there we go. All right, so if we're looking at the first line, that's just our updated, like what version we're playing on. Our second line is your frames, and then how much like RAM it's actually memory it's using. The third line, I really don't know anything about that. The fourth line is where you actually have your coordinates. So if you see the X, and then I'm at like 22,000 or 22,152.48, and then the Y, and then the Z, and then your pitch, your yaw. So your pitch and your yaw is like how you're angled, right? Like if you're heading that way instead of straight, basically. Like which direction you're looking at, because you can see that those numbers move. Uh, Next up, you have your X location is right here. So if you're looking at the planet, positive is to the left, negative is to the right. So if I go this way, the numbers do go down. Okay. Then we have our Z location should be, yep, this way. So the number is going to go down the closer we get to Earth. The number is going to go up the farther out we go. I believe it's about 750 meters or miles, whatever you want to call it, but I'm pretty sure it's meters. So when the Z hits 750, that's pretty much like the wall to go into the beta belt. And you'll know you're in the beta belt because, well, like how it looks like right now, you can see like fog in the distance. Well, instead of it being in the distance, you're actually in it, and it gives it a different kind of light. Looks a little bluish in my mind. Um, but yeah, that is the beta belt. So just go away from the Earth. If you do have your coordinates pulled up, it's about 750 is where it starts. Now, I have not been like past it, right? Like I've gone deep into the beta belt, maybe I think like 1700 meters that way. I'm pretty sure like down the road there's going to be another belt. So we have the alpha belt, the beta belt, and then there's probably going to be like something that starts with the C, right? Like a C belt, basically, like way the fuck out there. And it might actually be really far out there. Let's see. I did have. It was close, but I think it was moving. So it's probably not going to show. I'm going to go ahead and move the ship a little bit, mainly because there was a space station right over here, and it actually had the ping slash like waypoint markers on it. So let me go ahead and get a thruster for over here. Alright, so I do know that one is over there. I can't tell you like how long I've been off of the pause menu, but once we get within a certain like distance of it, it should actually like give us like a distance basically. For some reason, whenever I'm flying, I do get a little bit of frame loss. It feels a little different, but it's not like bad or anything like that. If I use too many air tanks, I also notice that I get a little bit of frame jumps, sort of say. Kind of just hops around. Go ahead and make a second one so we can go a little faster. But I do know that there should be a space station because I kind of flew around to make sure that I had one close by. So if those ones are already shut off, that's fine. I don't think we need to go in anymore because like originally it was like in this direction right here. Sometimes you can see them too. Oops, excuse me. Sometimes you can see them, especially depending on like the sunlight. If you're far enough away from the Earth, the planet, you can actually like see a large mass, and then as you get closer, a little indicator that tells you how close and how far you are. Now I know when you're in the beta belt, it's about 500 meters, that if you're within 500 meters of one of these space stations, it will actually tell you that, you know, where it's at. Sometimes you got to look for it though, because it could be below you, it could be like way off to the side. So as you roll, you know, as you're flying through, it's a good idea to not just like look in the direction that you're going. It's also a good idea to kind of scan around, above and below. Now I'm getting kind of like worried, like where the hell is this one that I saw? You know what? We're gonna do a angled one right here on the corner, and we're gonna go that way because that's where I saw it. Now, in the meantime, we can actually go and help out with one other issue. So, to connect electrical, you notice that, here, let me turn off the F3. If you pull out the electrical tool, which one of the tools you have to craft, you can actually see all the electrics like on the entire ship, right? So over here, I do have some lights. The lights are actually turned on right now. They're running off of battery power. And I do have it's a taller 4-panel solar panel, basically. So what I'm going to have to do before I can hook them up, I need to come over here to the electrical, make this stupid little electrical node, like so. And then we'll build it. Oh, I need one piece of electrics for it. Look in that direction, see if I see any red numbers. Because like if you're really, really far away, the numbers are red at first. And then the closer you get, they turn yellow. But like it normally is in everything I play, when I say something, it never actually freaking happens. But we'll just come back over here. We'll let the air thrusters do their thing. All right, so to connect the power, first going to look at this thing. So we're going to place our wire, which is left click. You can see that it puts a wire on our tool. I actually need to cancel that and build that thing. Go ahead and do it again. We get our wire attached to it. We're going to attach to the node. Then we're going to go again. We're going to left click from the node to the actual light itself. I believe there's a maximum number that you can hook up to the nodes. I think it's like 4 or 5 items. So I've literally just been putting like 4 lights, 4 no, you know what? I think it's more than that. Because I got 6 on each side. Yeah, no, I've been doing 3 to 4 items per node, basically. So there's no sun out, obviously, right now, right? There's no sun out, so they're not getting really any power. They are getting 10, so technically, like, it's not going to let the batteries die. But when the sun comes out, those numbers are going to turn green. This thing is capable of producing so much, you know, power basically, but it's going to be more than enough to handle all of these lights, especially during like one daytime cycle. If you install them and it's nighttime and you already have dead batteries, they probably won't turn on until the next day, right? It's just unfortunately the way it works. Ooh, guy's going to start crying here in a second. There we go. Ship looks like it looks like we're still moving. Feels like we're still moving, but that's the easiest way to connect them. If you pull out your electrical tool, you can clear it. If you right click on it, it'll basically undo all of the cables, pretty much one at a time type thing. Let's see, let's get rid of that tool, because honestly, holding the tool in your hand and seeing all that, rather not. So I typically don't keep my electrical tool in my hotbar either. Oops, I don't want to do that. I just want it right there. And the game is calling me a liar. Oh, nope. Let me turn off all the freaking things. So that thing has been moving. Got a little squirrely there. turn you off, turn you off. Stop moving. Alright, so you see, I don't see anything yet. But then, there we go. So you see that right there? 200 meters in the alpha belt. 200 meters seems to be like the marker point. After 200 meters, it kind of disappears. But that right there is a space station. We are in the beta or the alpha belt, so it's going to be like one of like 3 or 4 different actual space stations. Now, once you've gone to the beta belt and you unlocked everything from the beta belt, then you're going to find relay stations. Now, the relay stations I normally find are in the beta belt. They look like, like the floor and walls, just like our ship. They usually have a dead astronaut and a whole bunch of like blueprints that kind of like show you how to put stuff together, how to hook up electricity, how to make this, how to make that. But it's funny though, because by the time you get those and you see them, you've already most likely learned how to do all that stuff. Now, in the alpha belt, I've noticed there are some space stations that don't have a marker basically attached to them. No waypoint, basically, kind of like how that is right there. They just don't have them. And that is also the same things for the relay stations, is you kind of have to find them blind. And when you do find them, they are typically loaded full of like, electricals, batteries, air tanks, basically the good stuff, right? But yeah, they're a lot harder to find, and you kind of do need to use the sun to find them. So right now the sun is just coming up, right? So like it'd be morning time. So the best way to use the sun to your advantage in the morning is have it to your back. If you have it to your back, it literally illuminates everything. Now you can kind of see like over here, this area is pretty dark, but over here I have a lot better visibility. I can see a lot farther. The reason why is because the sun is still at an angle, and plus my ship is kind of blocking it. But the angles and the light rays, it travels in a straight direction. Oh wow, it just got pretty clean there for a second. Like, yeah, high frames. Yeah, you can tell when there's high frames. But yeah, so that area is going to be kind of dark. You can tell by like the pieces of metal, right? And when you look over here, they're a lot more visible. You can still see like the darkness in them, but a lot more visible. And as the sun pitches around, more things are going to be visible than others. I do like to ride that line in between the alpha belt and the beta belt, pretty much at like 750, 740 meters pretty much. And the reason why I like to ride that line is if you're just inside of the beta belt and you're looking toward the alpha belt, you actually have a little bit better visibility, especially during daylight. And then as you're like, say for me, I'm flying this direction, and if I'm scanning that way and I'm looking at everything, I can actually see like the silhouette of a space station, basically. So that's how I find a lot of them. I'll be like really, really far away, and you can see like a dark mass in a specific area. As you get close to it, it turns out that it'll be a space station. I'm sorry, I got to do these real quick because I'm honestly trying to farm as many potatoes as possible because I'm trying to collect as much of the plant fiber so I can make rope. I want to try to get as many of those like collectors on the front of the ship as humanly possible. And in that process, obviously I gotta grow a crap ton of food. But yeah, so you can see right there, 199 meters, I back up, it disappears. 199 meters, back up, disappears. So in the alpha, if you are under 200, you'll see them. It is good that if you're flying around, if you're picking one direction, like east, west, whatever direction you go, it is good to go up and down. Because if you've gone, I'm going to say 500 meters. So if I'm traveling this way and I travel 500 meters, a couple of air tanks worth of air, depending on the size of your ship, and you don't see anything, there's a strong chance you probably did pass something. It's either going to be a little bit below or above you. So I do periodically change my elevation height, and I don't think we covered that, but on the F3, that is the Y coordinate, right? There is an achievement for hitting the top and or bottom of the world, but when you do hit it, it's not like you die or anything like that happens. You just hit the bottom of the marked world. I think I went to the top, and I think it was somewhere around like 2,000, 2,500, something like that. It was quite a while ago, so I honestly haven't been back up to the top in a while. There's also one for going as close as you can to the Earth. I want to say that's like around 300 meters, 200 meters, something like that. So if you are trying to get that accomplishment, just go slow. For the love of God, go slow. Because yeah, if you go in too fast, you could burn out. But you can actually see like right now how like some of that ship is loaded in. You'll actually see that from really, really far away. And when you see that, you can kind of get an idea of, hey, there's something there. Because even after I back up, the little marker will disappear, but that stuff is still there. So, I mean, you could be, 500, 600, almost 1,000 meters away, and you'll see an anomaly, basically. Like, what the hell is that? The shadow is covering it out. Sometimes, depending on the way the sun is going, like if it's directly behind you, like facing the Earth, you can see a lot more shit. So that's one way to use the sun to your advantage. You can see right here that I actually have that solar panel connected to that little like diode, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, and then the other solar panel goes 1, 2, 3. I got these ones split in 3. I got another solar panel there, goes through the wall, goes to that diode, powers up those cookers. Pretty much the same thing on this side. Solar panel goes to the diode and to those cookers. That's just my beacon for the ship. Then we have another solar panel out there that goes to the 3. Then these 3 go over here to that diode and to that solar panel. And if they are behind these little catchers, then it has not seemed to affect it in any way, shape, or form. So, I mean, behind and front doesn't seem to matter. And if it's your solar panels, I lost my English for a second. If your solar panels are in front, debris will hit it, but it'll roll. And when it rolls, it'll usually get caught by one of the other ones near it. So I'm not too worried about like what's in front of the other or things like that. Let's go ahead and roll away from my garbage because, well, it's garbage. It's garbage. You can see that I've been using the air down here, and I've been removing the storage for it. I'm doing that strategically. I kind of want to change the floor plan down here a little bit, like the storage and everything. I kind of like how I got my storage above, so we're just going to keep it like that. Alright, so I was actually going through some comments just to make sure that I had pretty much covered everything. A lot of it was location stuff, how to read the F3 menu a little bit better, because I mean there is quite a bit of information out there. I literally am only looking at the XYZ coordinates, and then I mainly look at the chunk where it shows me the biome and what belt I'm in, because in all honesty, like if I'm going to stop my ship somewhere to go collect loot, I definitely want to be in the scraplands. Don't want to be in the barren lands or anything like that, or the sparse obliteration, because there are multiple biomes in each of the belts, basically. So, yeah. The one thing that I wish would actually change is like those boxes right there, right? That's trash that I threw out. It would be cool if I dropped something, if it had a despawn timer, basically, because I know, like, growing a fuck ton of this shit right here, I'm throwing away a lot of potatoes and a lot of flowers, like, constantly. And I'm pretty sure that those flowers and potatoes, all my garbage that I throw out, is what is causing that high level of memory usage. Now, I know the game isn't optimized or anything by any means necessary, but I'm pretty sure that would lower down that 5 gigs. So like if you didn't have 128 gigs of memory, then that could be an issue. You know what I mean? But for me right now, like it's not that bad. I notice it here and there. I mean, I average like what I think like about like 15 to 16 frames on average, and then depending on where I'm at and what I'm doing, I'll get like 185 frames max. It usually floats between like 80 and like 160. But I have seen it hit pretty high frames. The reason why is because we are in a dust storm. Not sure if you can hear that noise, that ticking noise, but that is actually a dust storm, and that's why it's also a little ticky right now. And I'm getting single digit frames. So yeah, that is legitimately a dust storm that's rolling through. Yep, you can see it right there. Disasters dust storm despawning. And then my frames go all the way back up. See, look, we average in 108 or 80, 160. Okay, we need a little bit of food, and we need a little bit of water, maybe a little bit more water. There we go. That seems pretty good. Woo. All right, so that is the dust storm doing that. And it feels like it might crash. Well, I'm glad I got that on video. Let me turn that off just in case. Okay, this is pretty weird. I've had some weird little bugs here and there, but this is weird. It kind of looks like the storm is going away. There we go. We're getting more frames back. Yeah. And back to normal. That bullshit right there. That bullshit right there. That's what it is. You can kind of see like the huge fume of it. Yeah, so when you get caught in a dust storm, the idea is just don't move. If you don't move, it's not too bad. But yeah, I think that kind of covers a lot of the questions that were asked. So if there's anything else, you want me to try to break down? I mean, I'm not a smart guy. Whoa, how did these come again already? I think we may have had a little bit of a glitch in the game, because these should not be ready this soon. Yeah, that has to be a glitch in the game, because those shouldn't be ready yet. They don't grow that fast. Boom! I like doing that. Drop out a whole bunch of things at one time, and they kind of just go patoosh everywhere. But yeah, if there's anything else you would like me to go over, I mean, as of right now, there's not a whole lot. There's still a couple things that I'm not sure of. A couple of like items that collect like ice and shit like that. But I haven't even figured out how to work them. So, all right, well, until the next video, I will see you later.